morning, afternoon, depending what time you're watching this video. My name is Ellie. I am a certified yoga instructor and I'm currently volunteering with the Pink Ribbon Place, offering the Facebook Live yoga classes, English 9 a.m. Saturday mornings and Spanish 11 a.m. again Saturday mornings. Before we go ahead and get started with today's practice, if you have practiced with me before, welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome. First thing is first, we're going to go ahead and need our yoga mat, or if you don't have one, make sure you're using something that is not going to slip on whatever floor you're working on. Your yoga blanket, and if you don't have a blanket, you can always use a yoga towel, a beach towel. As long as it's not spongy, you know, a little bit harder is always better for anything that we're gonna use it for. And lastly, if you happen to have a yoga strap like this one, go ahead and pull it out. If you don't have one, you can always use a belt or a scarf. Again, we are avoiding anything elastic. So again, the less stretchy it is, the better. And I highly recommend that you go ahead and take a moment right now, see if you can find something. We will be using this one today for the last exercise that we're gonna do for some stretching. So please just take a moment to go look for one. It'll make it a lot easier towards the end of the class. And lastly, make sure you have your water. It starts to heat up outside, so make sure that you're always staying hydrated and have your water on hand. Lastly, please remember to always listen to your body, to listen to, I do apologize if you guys hear anything in the background, babies, but please always listen to your body. Please listen. If you feel any pain, anything, please come out of any poses that we are in. More importantly, always let's try to avoid any accidents and take care of ourselves so we can continue to have a strong practice. You know, as we continue to grow together. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and lay down. And we're gonna start today reclined like this, bringing those knees up and keeping them about hip width distance apart. Closing our eyes if that's something you feel comfortable with. Now what we're gonna do is begin swaying our knees side to side, so dropping the knees to the right, taking them towards the left, and then back to the right, and to the left. And we're going to continue doing this a couple more times. All we're doing is trying to relieve a little bit of that tension in our low back. Remember to start trying to incorporate that breath into your practice today. Taking a big inhale and possibly exhaling every time you switch your legs. Coming back to center. Extend that left leg out and take that right leg in. Holding on to that right knee, just opening up that leg towards the right. Going one way, kind of making little circles, trying to open up that hip, just kind of saying hello. How are the hip joints doing today? Taking a little circle side by one way, the other way. And when we're ready, taking that left hand and taking that knee across the body for a really gentle twist. Taking a big inhale here, and exhale. Maybe you twist a little bit more. And then we're coming back to center, switching legs. And all we're doing on the left side is opening up that hip. One way, the other way. And again, all we're doing is just saying hello to the hip joints, kind of seeing where we are at. And when we're ready, taking that foot across, taking that knee across the body. And here, depending on your back, you might feel a little bit of a pop. Hopefully it's good. As long as it's good, that's what we want. It's just your body kind of releasing any tension that you have. Again, we want good pops. We definitely do not want any bad pops. So please continue to be aware of your body and what it's doing, how it's feeling throughout the practice today. And just overall, with anything that you ever do, just continue to keep an eye out on your body all the time. Okay, and coming back to center. Okay, bringing those knees back down. Bring that foot back down. And all we're gonna do is sway side to side a couple more times. In case you got any tension in our body, especially that low back area, we kind of tend to forget about it. And when we're ready, coming back to center, turning onto our left side, using our right hand, go ahead and push yourselves up. And we're gonna go straight into our knees, hands to knees. Here, I think you can see me right there. So coming to hands and knees. Remember, knees are a little hip width distance apart. We don't want anything too wide. And hands, all of our joints are stacked on top of each other, so we want to avoid coming too forward and coming too far back. Having that wrist stacked on that elbow, stacked on that shoulder. From here, inhale, dropping that belly. Exhale, tucking that chin, rounding that spine, pushing into that mat. Inhale, dropping that belly. Tucking that chin, rounding that spine. Last one, dropping that belly. Pushing into the mat. And if you want to take a couple more here, if you want to stop the video or anything during this time, please be my guest. Take as many cat-cows as you need to take right now. But just for the video, we're going to continue. But like I said, you are more than welcome to stop here and do a couple more. Let's go ahead and walk our hands forward, tucking those toes, and taking the hips up to the sky for our down dog. From here, bending those knees one at a time together. All we're doing is just stretching out those hamstrings. Every breath, maybe you're pushing a little more into that mat. And every exhale, maybe that belly comes a little closer to those thighs. Of our mats. Inhale. From here, inhale, half lift. Exhale, planting those hands. So from here, making sure our hands are nice and grounded into our mat, making sure that our belly is on our thighs if the hands don't come all the way down to our mat. And from here, all we're doing is we're gonna tiptoe, or heel toe our feet out towards the sides, kind of creating a nice little gap, if you can see that, in between for a wider stance. And from here also we want to avoid, as we're heel toeing out, that the toes remain straight in line with the heels. What we want to do is we want to point the toes towards the corners of our mat. So right toes point towards the top right corner, and then left toes point towards the top left corner of our mat. From here, bending those knees, placing those hands on the knees, and pushing yourself all the way up. And let me scoot over a little bit because that sun is starting to get right in my face. From here, we have our little bit of a wider stance. Toes are pointed upwards. And all we're gonna do is take the hands up nice and high. From here, bending those knees and coming all the way down as far as you can go. Kind of sweeping through the mat. And I'm pushing back up. We're coming back down. And then up, and we're gonna do this for a total of 5 times. So inhale, coming up. Exhale, sweeping that mat. Coming up, last one. And coming up. Okay, you can take a moment, shake out those hips. Hands come back to our hands to the hips. We bend those knees. You can even use, placing your hands on the knees. However, it helps you get back all the way down to the ground. Heel tween those feet back in. From here, inhale, half lift, belly on the thighs. Exhale, planting those hands. And from here, in absolutely no fancy way, all we're doing is coming all the way back down to our mats. And from here, we're gonna fully recline back, making sure we have our handy dandy strap with us because we will be using it for the final exercise that we're gonna do here. So coming all the way down, go ahead and grab your little strap, belt, scarf, whatever it is that you have. Taking that left foot, placing it all the way down on your mat, and taking that right foot, taking that strap right to the bottom part of your right foot, like this. With your right hand, go ahead and grab onto that strap or belt, whatever it is that you have, and slowly, with control, begin opening up that foot, letting it slowly fall towards the right side until you start to feel a little bit of stretch inside of that, the inside part of your thigh. Taking that that left hand, it is always nice to just put it right where the hip is, to kind of keep yourself accountable, to remember that as the right foot is dropping, you don't want that left hip to go like this and start lifting up, because then you're taking away from the actual stretch that's happening in the right leg. So that left hand kind of helps to remind us to stay grounded on that left side, keeping that left shoulder sinking on the ground as we continue stretching. And when we're ready, bringing that foot back up, switching hands, and all we're gonna do is take it across the body for a nice little stretch into that IT band. Again, depending on how often we're stretching, this is going to feel very different for everybody. Any little movement coming across the body, you'll immediately feel like that stretch, or versus someone who's stretching pretty often, they might feel it going a little deeper into this side. Again, it just depends on your body, depends on how often you're stretching. But either way, this is definitely a really good stretch to get in there. We many times forget about that IT band. We forget that it's there. So this is a nice little way of reminding us that it's very, very there. And when you're ready, coming back to center. And all we're gonna do is bend that left knee and replace that right foot with the left foot, and right foot comes down, dropping that left foot towards the left side. Again, with control of that right hand coming to that right hip to hold ourselves accountable of not lifting that right hip. From here, remember, we're gonna keep breathing. We don't want to forget to take that really big breath in and exhale out. One more time, big breath in and exhale out. And when we're ready, coming back to center and switching sides, switching hands, letting that foot drop to the right side. And here, really avoiding try to lift that left shoulder. We want to keep that nice and grounded as we take that foot across the body. set with the time for the class, but you're always more than welcome. If you like something that we're doing and you want to continue doing it more, or you want to stay longer in the stretch, you're always more than welcome to hang out there until you're ready to move on to the next pose. Remember listening to your body. That's what your body is asking for that day. Remember to honor your body and to, make it feel good. And when we're ready, coming back to center, bending that knee, go ahead and take off that strap. Now let's go ahead and plant those feet again one more time, like we did at the beginning of class. And from here, all we're gonna do is just drop the knees side to side. It doesn't matter what side you decide to drop on first. All we're doing is releasing any last tension in the body, any last little tension in that low back right before we finish today's practice. And when we're ready, coming back to center, and again rolling on our side and using our opposite hand to push ourselves up, and coming over to seated. Do apologize if I start to move a little to the side. The sun is kind of almost halfway on my mat, so I am just trying to avoid getting that sun in my face. And so sitting up nice and tall. Your hands can come to heart center, or they can come to the knees, whatever is more comfortable for you. You're welcome to close your eyes, or you can keep your eyes open. Again, whatever is most comfortable for you. Taking a couple breaths here. Enjoying that beautiful, beautiful energy that you have created today, whether that was in your backyard, in your living room, in your room, wherever it is that you took some time for yourself in such a beautiful act of self-love, to take this time to practice, to do something that feels good for you. Ultimately, that is the most important thing, is that you have taken this time for yourself. And continue taking a big breath in and exhaling out. And lastly, I just want to take this time to thank you so much again for sharing your practice with me, for giving me the opportunity to share something that I deeply love so much with all of you. I am very, very grateful for that, and I hope that we continue to practice, and I hope I get to see all of you Saturdays on Facebook Live. Again, English 9 a.m. and Spanish 11 a.m. Like always, please continue to check the Riverside Community Health Foundation website, as well as the Pink Ribbon page for any updates, anything else. They are the ones taking care of making sure these videos go on there for all of you to see. So please, please, please